Lunch with Leah, episode 503, and here's Leah.
We don't want to screw up our introduction.
I know, I was telling Jason, I was like, the first week we had the mic wrong, and then this week the internet went off.
2020, honestly, is it just me? But it seems like everything that could go wrong, every relationship, just the work, the house falls apart. I mean, the fires, the tree. It's just like 2020. I don't know. I'm going to go back and read Nostradamus' teachings and see if we're in some kind of a downward spiral. Because if we are, I mean, we may as well just ride the wave and quit fighting everybody all day. I'm trying to move up. You know, we fight everything to try to make everything right. I'm just wondering what's ever going to pay off. By the way, before I get into it, did anybody watch the debate last night?
Well, I mean, I watched it until I sent you the text with the rolled eyes, and that was about all I could handle.
I had to watch it.
I couldn't get more into like 20 minutes in there.
Somebody said on the radio today, if people are undecided right now, today, if they're still undecided, they're going to vote for Trump. Because if you saw
that last night,
that buffoon, bully, petulant child,
racist bigot,
the way he was acting last night, back and forth, just imagine if they didn't have the space because of social distancing. Remember how he was predator hovering over
hovering around Hillary.
He would have been circling like a buzzard, around Biden last night. He probably would have gone up and confronted Chris Wallace. I mean, he was just acting so horrible that if you witnessed that, forget all the content and the lies and the white supremacy, forget all of that. Just his behavior alone is a global embarrassment to the world. I mean, if you're still on the fence, then you're going that way. Because if that didn't bother you enough to turn you off completely, there was another guy on the radio, television last night when they did, after the debates. And he was on the fence, and he said after that debate, he's not only is he not going to vote for Trump, he'll never vote for another Republican. He's going to vote for all Democrats because these people will not condemn him. They won't stand up against him. They're complicit, and they're just ruining the country. And I thought, I'm hoping that a lot of people that were on the fence are thinking that way. And I think they did an analysis, 60% of the people said that Biden won, but really nobody can win in a debate like that because nobody can get any information or get your point. So I decided, in my opinion, I think that was his strategy. His strategy was to just do what he does in the Oval Office every day, do what he does in his life every day. Chaos, confusion, lie, bully, unhinged, crazy, and just distract. And I think that was his whole plan because he didn't have any other plan. And the lies, so they did a fact check on him last night, that Daniel Dale, who's a brilliant fact checker. I mean, just one lie after the other. And then after they show 2 years in a row where he paid $750 in taxes, and the other years, the casino years, when he was applying for casinos in New Jersey, he had to show his taxes, and he paid no taxes. And then I paid millions of dollars in taxes every year. That's just a lie. And he's just going to keep saying it, and he's just going to keep, people want to believe him are going to believe him, and normal people that just are objective are going to just go, another lie. But when is enough? When is enough enough? I was embarrassed. Embarrassed.
Even my friends from that are from other countries in the UK and stuff, I woke up this morning and they were like, what in the world is going on over there? It is absolutely embarrassing.
Oh my God.
And listen, I just feel like too, I think that the whole debate thing has to be changed.
This is where I disagree. I'll tell you why. Why are we changing the rules for Donald J. effing Trump? He can follow the rules like everybody else.
Yeah, but he didn't.
If he can't follow the rules, Mr. Trump, you're out of line. You are excused from the debate. We are going to continue with Mr. Biden and get him off the stage if you have to call security. Why are we constantly lowering our standards and changing our debate rules and changing what's acceptable as normal practice and changing what we'll tolerate with him destroying the Justice Department, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, every norm we have? Why are we going to change
do you want me to answer that?
And lower our standards for a guy like this? We're nuts if we do. Here are the rules. Anyone that doesn't follow them will be asked to leave. 3 strikes and you're out. And that's it. Let the debate go on. Let him conform to our rules and our standards and our norms and our principles, and stop lowering the bar to accommodate this thug con artist that sounded like a mobster last night. What you were going to say?
No. Where I disagree with that is that we are in a different time now. And the majority of the people are getting their news from a Facebook algorithm feed. And, you know, if they're going to be uneducated towards the way they vote and the way that they pick their people.
The rules in the debate's
But
not going to change
well,
that.
I believe there should be fact checking. If you're going to have a known liar go up there and pull the same stunts, there should have been someone there that should have done it. Also, why was the guy from Fox allowed to sit there the whole night and not turn his mic off or stopping? He couldn't control him either. I'm telling you, the guy, he's unmanageable. That's it.
That's my point. He's unmanageable. He's the outsider. So let him just leave the stage. I mean, why let him give him a platform to perpetrate more lies? And anybody that goes on Facebook and believes that stuff, instead of reading it from legitimate news sources and having it be vetted, they're just stupid. And if you want to be that stupid, that's why we're in the mess that we're in.
Exactly.
But why should we change our rules to accommodate him? I'm not for that. He needs to follow the rules that everyone sets out, everyone agreed to, his campaign agreed to. He knew what the rules were going in, and he went in with the idea of doing what he always does.
Well,
Obstruct, distract, bully, you know, unhinged. Whole thing.
I think they were stupid thinking he was going to go in there and abide by the rules. He doesn't in every press conference, every day. So why did they think he was going to go in there and do that and abide by the rules? That's what I'm saying. I just feel like we live in a different time, and I think the debate process is antiquated, and we need it needs an updated.
If you agree to it, stick to it or get out. Yeah. End of story. Yeah. I'm not changing my debate rules to accommodate you. I'm not changing in fact, the same thing with the press conferences. The minute he starts lying and changing the subject and distracting, the press should say, thank you very much, you're giving out false information, bye-bye, we'll try again tomorrow. Why are we lowering our standards and lowering the bar and looking like crazy America all over the world because we're letting this buffoon drag us all down into the gutter? I mean, to Joe Biden's credit, and he was frustrated, and I know he missed a ton of opportunities. He should have brought up when he started smarting off about, well, you're not that smart. Well, at least I took my own SAT test. I mean, there were a lot of things Joe could have slapped back at and opportunities that he missed. But having said all of that, at least he conducted himself in an honorable, dignified, gentlemanly manner. And he did the best he could. And, you know, I know it's easy to fault Chris Wallace, and I do, in a way, fault him for part of it. But on the other hand, he didn't have the equipment there to turn the mic off. What was he going to do? He asked him 15 times. He even said to him, you agreed to these rules. You promised to stick with these rules. You're not sticking with these rules. I think he made Trump look really bad and just showed him as the outlaw that he is. But anyway, I'm just so mad about the whole thing. I went on a thing last night, started tweeting everybody. I was like Trump, tweeting all night. So I was tweeting, and then I was saying, what did I tweet? I wanted to tell you some of the stuff I tweeted because I was just couldn't even pay attention. Oh, I brought back football. Trump goes, I brought back football. I mean, 206,000 people are dead, walking around with a mask on. We've got hand sanitizers and spray stuff, and we won't let anybody valet our car. The economy sucks. People are unemployed. The food lines are all over the place. I brought back football. It's just like, your priorities are just crazy. Then Bob Woodward tweeted out, he is assassinating the presidency. I thought that was a good line. Oh, here's another one. Fred Gutenberg, you know, the gentleman that his daughter was killed at the thing in Parkland. For every Jewish voter like myself, even those who supported Trump last night when he told Proud Boys to stand back and stand by, I hope that ended your relationship with him. Oh my God, Donald Trump declared war on decency and democracy last night in a way that is utterly unthinkable. By John Mitchum tweeted that. John Mitchum is a world-renowned, respected historian. By my count, Trump interrupted former Vice President Joe Biden or the debate moderator Chris Wallace at least. How many times, guess? How many times do you think? Take a guess. Jason, how many times do you think he interrupted?
Oh, I didn't.
How many do you think?
At least 100.
128. 128 times. This dwarfed the 51 times he interrupted Hillary Clinton during the debate in 2016.
Awful.
Oh my God. And now before I go back to the debate thing, oh yeah, then he tweeted this. He has a picture of him. Trump puts himself on one side and Biden and Chris Wallace on the other side. He goes, Trump first and Biden and Chris Wallace. So I replied back, always the victim. And then I said, I wished at one point when he was rambling on and just a completely just unhinged nut, that Biden would have just looked at the American people and said, do you want to live through 4 more years of this? I mean, it's just insane. And then I tweeted, you've heard of the battered wife, ? Well, we were the battered audience. Trump is the abuser and we deserve better. Got to think the way Trump acted tonight is how he acts in the White House. Can you imagine having processed debate decisions, debate normal conversations and finding solutions? And then when Joe Biden said about Hunter, I said, Joe Biden mentioned working through drug issues with Hunter, and then he was on the other side of it. And so I just said, a lot of people are saying that one of Trump's kids has a drug problem. If so, will Donnie help him work through it or hide it or disinherit him? Or is compassion a good thing? I mean, there's just so much to go on. And then I'm going to tell you this one thing about this judge they're wanting to nominate before I forget, because we'll go on. She said, wow, do you know any women who agree with Amy Coney Barrett that women must submit to their husbands? Had you read that?
They all do. My mother's the same one. It's in the Bible. Women.
No, it's in the Bible. It says in the Bible that you're supposed to submit to your husbands, and that's
Well, she believes you're supposed to submit
absolutely.
to your husband.
My mom does the same thing.
How is any woman in the Senate gonna be able to vote for this and expect women in today's world to ever vote for them again? I mean, I don't know. It's too much. So I watched the Comey movie. Did you guys watch the Comey movie?
Not yet, but I've heard it.
Oh my God. Did you watch it, James?
No,
Why not?
because I was probably doing something else.
Did you TiVo it?
No, I haven't.
Catch on Showtime.
Is something going on?
Yes.
Okay, fix it.
Well, I'm trying to see what's happening.
Okay, so
It's just the internet.
the Comey movie was brilliant. I thought it was brilliant. I don't like him. I'll never forgive him. He tilted the election towards Hillary. All the independents broke towards Hillary because his little theory of her emails being improper, it turned out to be wrong. But it fit into the narrative of a crooked Hillary. She was the most qualified person that's ran for president
Ever.
probably in our lifetime.
No, I always said if we created a person in a petri dish, she would have been the outcome.
So qualified, whether you like her or not. And, the reason, see, they're trying to do the same thing right now to AOC that they did to Hillary. The minute they see a rising star or a strong personality or someone who message catches on or someone that's smart, they start trying to destroy them early. They started destroying her back when Bill Clinton was governor of Arkansas. And after 20, 30, 40 years, it just starts to become acceptable that she's a crook. The truth is the Clintons have been investigated more than any other political family in history, and they've never found anything on them other than maybe, they've made some unethical mistakes or made some mistakes, but they didn't do anything criminal. Whereas look what's going on in the White House now. I mean, half of Trump's friends and people that work for him are under indictment, or they pleaded guilty, or they're in jail, or they're out of jail because of COVID, or they're going to be indicted, or, it's just unbelievable. I don't know the standard that why doesn't anyone hold Trump to the standard everyone else is held to? I don't understand that. I have to think a lot more people believe with his ideology and agree with his ideology than we know of. They just don't admit it, and it's pretty bad. Anyway, so I may go to the Keys house this weekend, Jason, just for the day.
That's nice.
I haven't been there in so long.
What was the guy like that played Trump? Because everybody said.
Oh, who was the guy that played
They
Trump?
said
I
that
forgot
he's
his
not so
name.
good. Was he good?
I thought he was great.
critics-
Did you see it?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, no,
I haven't seen
didn't you
it
guys
yet.
didn't see the
I've
clip of him playing it?
I saw the trailer, but the critics after it came out said that he wasn't so.
I thought he was good. Well, he was good because he would, to me, this is what he was. He was a caricature and a personification of Trump.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He was exaggerating it. And in a way, he was acting it, but he was exaggerated, a little bit. But I thought he did a good job because he portrayed Trump to be the buffoon that he is. I mean, he really is just out of it. Anyway, so it's been raining a lot here. Are you guys raining in your neighborhood? Oh my God, mosquitoes everywhere.
It's supposed to rain all weekend.
So, oh, it is?
Yeah.
It was supposed to start at 3 o'clock here today, and then it's supposed to rain for the next 3 days.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Well,
There's
how about
not a cloud out.
Because I want to go.
It's actually,
Oh, God.
For the whole week.
I think the next 7 days, it's like 60% or higher, yeah.
So I was reading people's health is not as good because of all the chaos going on. So I read an article. If you have high cholesterol, these are the things you can eat to get your cholesterol down. This is just random talking. Black beans, black-eyed peas, tomato sauce, walnuts, flax seeds, soy, olive oil, black and green tea, cold water fish, which is salmon, tuna, sardines, anchovies, and catfish. I eat a lot of that stuff, but I probably still have very high cholesterol right now. I probably have high blood pressure. I probably have high everything because the world is coming to an end. I mean, I've never seen so much chaos in one day. The taxes come out. Trump only paid $750 for 2 years in a row and zero for 10 years out of 15. That was big news for 2 days. And now we've got the Supreme Court. That's big news. Now we've got the debates. That's big news. And then now they're investigating, the original sin of investigating Trump after when he was president, that Trump saying, oh, they spied on me, and I caught him. Well, Comey's in there today, and so far they haven't laid a hand on him. He's justified everything they did. When you have 2 or 3 people in your campaign, Manafort, Papadopoulos, Gates, Flynn, having sideline conversations with the Russians, often not on the record, and you've recorded them and you hear the things they're saying and the things they're saying are not kosher, then why wouldn't you be surveilling them? I don't understand his excuse. No one taped recorded him. If he was overheard on a conversation with one of these people that were compromised by Russia, well, that's another story, but I don't know. Personally, I've been working the phone banks in Texas. I've got 12 people working the phone banks there. I've got a few people working here on different things, calling people, getting people to vote, sending out mail lists. I'm just doing my little tiny part. Everybody has to do their own part. I don't know. Meanwhile, Brendan told me in LA, the neighbor has gone off the rails again. She's crazy. She's playing the music at 100 as loud as she can for 2 and 3 hours a night just to irritate the neighborhood. What's wrong with her? What is wrong with her? He thinks she dinged his car. So I'm putting a security camera now so we can watch her and what she does in front of her house, because remember, she egged the 5 cars in front of her house, parked legally across the street. Yeah, and that was when we first moved in. That was the plumber and Brendan and my car and 2 or 3 other cars when we were moving in. And then it's been ever since. She's always screaming and yelling, so we're videotaping her now, and we're going to tape record her horrible things that she says that are just disgusting. And we're going to put a little camera on the street so we can see when she dings Brandon's car the next time. And when she puts that music up really, really loud, all the neighbors, I don't think they care. I live in a neighborhood that's a party neighborhood. I don't think anybody cares if she's playing Madonna and Pitbull at 100, degrees or whatever it is. Decibels. I don't think anybody cares. In fact, I have this little tiny speaker on the patio because we never have time to get everything done when we're there. I swear it's the size of that little speaker right there that Bravo gave me. It's this big. You can turn it all the way up and you really can't even hardly hear it. So when she turns that music up, when we have people over, it's like, great, we've got good music and she can't hear what we're saying. So it doesn't bother us. I don't know why she thinks that music bothers us. She's just crazy. Then she puts the disco light on, and then she starts yelling and screaming and gets the pots and pans and hits them. She's just angry crazy. But Brendan said she's been acting up lately, like insane again. So the other night, from Jeff's house, Brendan's friend had them look in their binoculars and watch her. She was just pacing the floor like this in her backyard. She's just at all glass. And apparently she's a hoarder. I mean, just stuff everywhere. And the back patio looks like it's just going to cave in if you walk on it. The house is so run down. And she was just pacing the floor, and pacing the floor, and pacing the floor like crazy with that music going. I don't know. It's just too much. Apparently, Succession won the top drama prize. Are you guys watching?
Should
Succession?
have. Well, I mean, there hasn't been one.
Yeah, but you watched the first two.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was good.
It's
That was good.
Best show on TV.
Yeah, that's good. I tell you though, that Comey movie was good. You're gonna like that Comey movie if you didn't
It's on
watch
my
it.
watch list.
Yeah, it's good. What? Do we have something? Okay, let's see.
No, but I think
Oh my God, James, what are you doing? Do you know James broke his damn foot? He can't walk anymore. He's half crippled. He jumps around on one foot, drops stuff. What happened? Oh my God,
I ripped my headsets
Oh
off.
well, that's all right.
But we need to take our 5-second break.
Oh my
for
God, we've only been
commercial.
talking 20 minutes.
And we're back.
Okay, in Real Housewife news, oh my God, they have gone off the charts.
Yeah.
So does anyone, I don't even follow it, someone sent me the link, because I don't follow a lot of them. Did you see the Nene thing she said on YouTube?
The thing I sent you on YouTube.
Oh, you sent it to me.
Where she clapped back after, so Andy had Wendy Williams on the other night in the clubhouse, and they were very shady towards Nene.
What
I
did
thought.
they say? What
Well,
did they
here's
say?
here's what it is, and I can understand.
Sure.
Andy put together the questions, so he knew where he was guiding the conversation.
Well, he always does.
And then when she answered the questions, she weighed her 2 cents in, and and Nene didn't like it, and I don't blame her. And listen,
Okay, what question? What did he say?
He was
What did
asking-
he say that was offensive?
about like how their relationship was, and then
Who asked that, Andy?
Andy had asked
Wendy.
Wendy because it was just them. It was only those two, and he had a slew of questions, and it went on forever. And about.
So what did Wendy say that was offensive?
Well, she was just saying, because Nene doesn't like people talking about her business, and she was saying things like, oh, she was calling me, and then she had to close this store, and she had to do this, and talking about her business, and talking about her money, and said that, she didn't know whether she should be signing the contract or not, and she felt Bravo was forcing her out, and then she said some stuff like, and nobody's giving her a spinoff because, watching her family put makeup on or go to the store, something is boring, so nobody's wanting to see that, and that really upset her when she brought the family
So
into
let's
it.
start with that one.
Yeah.
In my opinion, if you have someone you think is a friend and you're confiding with them not on the show, there's no reason to bring it up unless it's in defense of something they said about you.
Absolutely.
In my opinion. So I'm team Nene on that one. And then what else happened?
Absolutely, and it just was all kind of stemming from
Did Andy
that.
say anything bad about her?
Well, he was the one asking the questions, trying to fish for information, and so that's what
But
Nene
he didn't
said.
say anything bad about her.
No, I mean, he just said, we won't be seeing her anytime soon on the show, but
So
they had
Nene's
already been
beef-
announced.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Nene's beef with Andy is that he gave, what's her name,
A-
Wendy.
a platform.
A platform
And-
to mouth off about her and probably enjoyed doing it.
And that's what she said. And she says that if you watch it, he knew the questions he was asking ahead of time and where that was going to go. And she said, so she was upset. And then then at the very end of the 17-minute video, she had told Wendy that she needed to go have her legs
Yeah,
drained
what was that about?
because she's big, I
Because
guess.
her legs are
swollen.
legs swollen?
Yeah, I guess.
Wendy's legs are swollen? Maybe she has a health problem.
She told her she needed to have her legs strained.
Nene credit. I mean,
And
if
then-
you're going to throw shade, don't get into a pissing contest with Nene on shade.
No. And then at the
Because
end,
that was funny. I had a laugh when she said she needs to go to the doctor and get her legs drained. I had to rewind that. And then I couldn't, and then I texted you and I said, did she say she needed to get her legs drained?
yes.
I mean, that was fucking hilarious.
And then what she said about Andy was at the very end, and she said, and don't forget, no one knew who you were until they knew who I was.
yeah, that was funny.
She said, so don't
She's
forget.
good with the one-liners,
She has
all the
lymphedema,
girls-
someone
Yeah,
says.
they're all
Wendy does have
amazing.
it. She does have lymphedema.
Oh, she does?
Yeah.
Well, her eyes are like this,
Yeah.
that's, you can tell something's not right about her health. And then she fainted that time,
Right,
I don't know,
right.
whatever. I just thought it was just ridiculous. But, you have to, it's amusing. It is what it is. And then in other housewife news, I don't think I wrote it down, but somebody else got in a big fight. I can't remember who it was. Oh, apparently, one of Brandy's kids posted something.
Yeah, they're asking Andy to bring her back on the show.
Yes. Oh my God, would you cringe? Would you cry? Some people just don't have any shame. I mean, I just would be dying. I mean, I remember when everyone in the Miami group, they were all pushing and pushing and pushing for that show to come back. I would stay away from any of those times they were getting together and getting their photos and pretending they were best friends and trying to get the press going. And, Marisol's constantly getting the press to put out some story that she's coming back, it's coming back, to see if they can get the audience to pile on. I stayed as far away from it as I can. To me, it looks desperate. It's embarrassing. I've never begged for a job in my life. In fact, I've really only worked for myself, except when I worked at Fred Astaire or had a gig at, singing in some nightclub, but I've always just worked for myself. I can't imagine begging somebody for a job. I'm like, same thing with a man. If you don't want to be with me and you don't see my value, or you don't want to hire me, or you're not begging me to come on your show, you don't see what I bring to the party, I'm not in. I don't want to be there because, like they need to fill a spot. I'm embarrassed by it.
Chris Lynn said, please bring Miami back before bringing Brandy back. Oh my gosh. Let me say something. I think I sent that to you, that there was a media outlet over in the UK, and they ranked all of the Real Housewives franchises around the world. Like all of them were ranked from, 1 to I think it's like 60 something. Miami is number 5, and they're in front of some of the current ones that were on there. And they were talking about how it brought everything, like the beautiful city, the beautiful women, everyone had luxurious lives. The producers
did an amazing job on showcasing Miami, the hot bodies, the bikinis, and the whole thing.
They said every week we felt like we were on vacation.
That part was true. The problem was, if you're on a reality show, you really do need to tell the truth. And you need to be who you really are in the world. And if you can't do that, and it's not authentic, and it's just beating up on people, it's not sustainable. I don't know, that's my opinion. I mean,
and they were also all talking about, how Beverly Hills used to be the crown jewel, and it is the toilet now. And also, I've read a lot of articles this week before the Potomac aired on Sunday night, but they're all, almost the general consensus across the board from people that are like the shows are saying Potomac is really delivering it better than any other franchise right now. And I have to agree.
I never watched that one because I don't want to get hooked on another one, and all I do is watch the news anyway, or reading the next book that came out, and but I think if that show is what you say it is, it must be because those girls have big personalities, they tell the truth, and they're actually who they are. They're not pretending to be something they're not. And that is what makes the show work. And
they have a Lea Black. Who keeps everyone in check and tells it like it is. I think that's, honestly, they do have very good characters on there, and it's a good fit, even though there's drama between them. It's a good, they deliver.
I see, when you look back, like, okay, who else not there anymore recently? There's like 100 there's so many. Bethany left, and then Lisa Vanderpump left, and then Denise is leaving, and then Nene's leaving, and then there was somebody, I don't know, the list goes on.
Vicky and Tamara last season.
Vicky and Tamara, so they're cleaning house and purging. But I think it's for 3 reasons. One, these girls are making so much money that, and it's gone to their head, and you can't, listen, really, who on those franchises worth the kind of money that they were paying? They're not, it's just, it's 5 months out of the year. It is a lot of drain on you. But those girls would never have seen, some of them, 20% of that money doing anything else. So I think the girls kind of price themselves out of the business a little bit.
I saw one of them was making like $10,000 an episode. I remember when Ted Danson was making that a week on Cheers.
See, I don't think $10,000 an episode is very much. That's not very much.
But if you do 30 episodes.
The point is, when those girls are making, $500, $750, $1 million, and you can get someone else to do it for $3,000 or $10,000 an episode, you're pricing yourself out of the market.
Absolutely.
So if you're doing it for the money, it's really not the right reason to do it anyway. You should really do it to be part of the franchise, to be, you know, part of the pop culture, to promote your stuff, you know, just to be out there and in the mix. Because if you're doing, and then you make your money otherwise, you know, I mean, how many times did they offer me $25,000 to show up for some deal? You know, I never went because I'm not going to get on a plane. I mean, this sounds really arrogant, but I'm not going to get on a plane and go to some convention for $25,000. I'm not going to do it. I'll sell a piece of jewelry first. But look, to some people, that's a lot of money, and they'll do it. And God bless them. I gave a lot of my offers that I didn't take. I recommended plenty other girls that I knew needed the money, but they price themselves out. That's one.
Yeah.
Number two, their stories get old. Like, you think of the ones that have been there the longest, it's really nothing new. Maybe it's a new boyfriend, but it's just episode
Like Luann's story is so old right now.
It's a very old story. but she does, you know what makes Luann stay, in my opinion, what makes a good person for reality TV, and you can't have them all this way, but they need to have at least a couple in every group, is they need to have no self-awareness.
Yeah.
And when you don't have any self-awareness, when you think you're stars and when you really can, you know, you can entertain, but
The only
you can't
reason
sing.
Ramona's been on
You know, when you can have one night stands all over town and think no one knows about it. When they have no self-awareness, it makes them interesting because it's like, I can't believe they did that, you know? So that, and then the other thing is, I think that, you know, all the networks, they just want to go younger. They do. That's a fact of life. The problem with that for me, I don't have any problem with the 20 and 30-year-old bimbo, empty bikini girls, empty G-strings. I mean, I kind of think they're fun to watch, but they don't have any life experience. You have to get to the age in life where you don't give an F to be good on TV. And most of those women are of the age where, you know what, I don't really give any, I don't care. You're not paying my bills, I don't need it, and I don't care. Now, I got to that age at a very early age. I got there. But, you know, I think that's what makes people more interesting. So this franchise is having a shakeup, but I don't know how they're going to keep this thing going if everybody's wearing the mask and socially distancing and the virus and everything. I don't know. Oh, my God.
I like Lea, the new one on New York. Like,
Yes.
she was a good
She was a
fit
good one.
because she's like, you know,
free spirit.
she is, and she's also kind of an open book, and she doesn't care to
She
tell her story.
reminds
I
me
like
of
her.
how when Kelly Bensimon was on as a free spirit.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me the
And
same
that
way.
was always missing in New York. You know, one had the business to protect, and the other one, you know, was just, you know, and so she was the refreshing one that was kind of the new version of Kelly Bensimon. I liked her too, and she's a beautiful girl. I do wish for her own sake that she would not drink as much on camera, because I think she's going to regret it let out. She won't regret it. She's not the type of people.
She's
probably
been
that
sober
regrets
since
it.
the show started.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
so
just
it's
don't
good.
think it's not
Yeah.
her best self.
No.
I like to see her be her best self. I like to see all of them be their best self, and that's why I just cringe when I see some of them have so much potential and so much going for them, and then they
And take a left
do
turn.
something, you know, that is just going to be with
They throw a
them
tiki
forever.
torch.
Yeah, they're going to be known for that naked, rant, drunk, throwing the torch forever. If they save people from AIDS, if they find cure for cancer, you know, if they save us from Trump, they're still going to be known for running around naked. And so that kind of is the only thing that I would say to her. But, you know, she's doing great. Good
Right.
for her. But she's not making that much money compared to the other girls either.
No.
So in news, let's go to the news, the real news, not the reality news. There was somebody else fighting though in Beverly Hills. Oh, I think that Denise and Lisa Rinna are still fighting, and then Camille jumped in and she's fighting, and there's something going on.
Oh,
over there. I can't
but Lisa
remember.
Vanderpump has launched
what
a
it was.
podcast, and she went on the podcast and started talking about
Yeah.
how horrible the whole reunion was and
Yeah.
everything.
But see, that is a Lisa Vanderpump move.
Yeah.
She won't say it on the show when she has to combat people because she doesn't like the conflict. So she'll wait and say it when no one can conflict back with her.
Yeah.
I'm not criticizing it, I'm pointing it out because I don't like conflict either. And so she's the one that they always accused her of throwing the rocks and hiding her hands. And this is just another example of, okay, now I can say everything I want. I don't have anybody here to rebut what I'm saying. You know, but good for her. Listen, she looks good. She's, you know, she looks elegant. Apparently, I think they're going to, my prediction, they're going to wind up basing out of Las Vegas. All the other stuff in LA is going to be gone, and they're going to go to Vegas and start up and do something over there. That's what I think. In news, listen to this one. A 2-year-old Alabama child found a handgun on the bed and shot its 12-year-old cousin. Now, the cousin is not life-threatening, but what kind of a parent,
Leaves a gun
what kind of a human being leaves a gun on a bed? even if no one's around. What if the housekeeper, what if you walk in and forget and lay on the bed and it goes, oh, what kind of an idiot. I don't know why they don't hold maybe they are, but they should hold the parents to, task on that. I'm eating because I couldn't get out the door today. You don't believe all the stuff that went on at the house. There's another story.
If you hear a little crunching in the podcast,
Yeah, that's the food.
Leah having a little cracker.
So these are fantastic. Look at all the stuff I like. These are my favorite. Okay, I like the monk fruit. That's what I do for everything. I like the M salt. That's what I season for
Yep.
everything. And this is my go-to low-fat, cholesterol-free, dairy-free, low-sugar, no-calorie crunch. They're called, I don't know what these are called. Oh, they're called Rocks Rolls. So my Pilates teacher in LA told me about those.
Oh.
And so, like, if you're in the car and you're hungry, instead of eating a whole meal, you can have 2 of those and you're done. If you need to take some vitamins, you can have 2 of those and you're done. It actually will fill you up for a couple
They're made out of
hours.
almonds, it says.
Huh?
They're made out of almond.
Yeah, so I ordered them like by the case, and I just like, if I'm starving or shaking, that's what I do. Meanwhile, they're good to take your vitamins with, because I can't eat in the morning when I wake up. I just can't. But I can get a couple of those down, and then I just take a few vitamins, and you're good. In other news, look how interesting we all are. We're the most interesting people ever. This is what I do in the morning with my life. Okay. So, in the news, if I go to LA, I talk to Jeff. He goes, "Oh, you'll be my regular sidekick again." I'm like, "Oh God, I've got to come to LA now." I'm going to find out Friday if I'm going. I think we're going to go.
A lot of people asking on social media for you and
Good.
saying they miss you on his
You
show.
need to tag Jeff on that. Tag his Instagram, because I need to be on there if I go out there. I'll have to be fighting with him to wear a damn mask. I noticed in his pictures he didn't wear a mask.
No.
I sent him
None
a
of them
mask
did.
when this all started. I think he probably does wear a mask, but they don't do their picture with the mask. I don't know. I'm going to find out. I love to spar with him anyway. I'll find something to pick at him about.
They're
So
doing
the
some kind of a
US
Halloween thing. I saw him talking about that yesterday.
Oh, what's he going to do on Halloween?
I think they're having that Halloween happy hour show that he does
okay.
on Zoom or whatever, or
Yeah.
on the thing. But he was talking about the costumes, and he asked somebody yesterday what their if they had a costume ready, and they said yeah, and then he said that. Somebody had a really good one, but he said Doug Boudin is
Yeah.
even better. He says,
I
when we
love
see
Doug.
Doug's, I love Doug too.
He's great.
Yeah.
Doug is, he was an entertainer. And when you're an entertainer,
He was on Friends.
yeah, you're good. You're good on radio because you know how to entertain an audience. I find him to be very good. Anyway, so the U.S. mail, since DeJoy took over, it's slowed down across the board 8%. In blue areas, it's far worse than that. So the 8% is an average. So the blue areas are like way behind, and then the other areas aren't, which makes it average at 8. But it's way behind in the blue areas. So they're trying to steal the election. There was a 60 Minutes had a show saying there's no centralized system for ex-felons to vote. And many of these ex-felons in Florida don't know what they owe, if anything. So if you are an ex-felon, you're probably not watching this podcast. But if you...
I don't know. We got a lot of feedback last week when we brought it up.
Was it bad or good? Bad?
We got a lot of pushback last
Well, I
week.
don't care.
I don't either.
You know,
People
I
were
care.
saying, "How dare you? Why don't you support veterans and things like that?" And I was
I
like,
do
"She
support
does support veterans. What are they talking
My
about?"
grandfather had tons of stars and medals. All my uncles were in the military. My one uncle's still alive. He retired as a senior master sergeant in whatever, the Army. I mean, all of my nephews in the Army right now, or the Air Force or something.
Are you losing your mic?
Of course. Let's hear.
It's okay.
No, of course. By the way, I donate to the veterans. Don't be
I know,
schooling
right?
me. This is something you don't want to know. Ask me. Don't just prejudge that just because I support ex-felons that I don't support veterans or anybody else or the kids in the cages. I support them all. Are you kidding me?
know.
This is so annoying.
It was annoying. It was just people trolling
It's just-
you,
I
but
don't
you know,
care. You can
it's so
troll me, but
stupid
no one's
when
been
people.
talking about
That's
it.
what I was gonna say. Know what you're talking about,
if
because
you-
Leah, you and Roy do more for more people
Oh
and
my
stuff.
God, how
You don't
many
get an
checks a
ounce
day
of
am I
credit for
writing?
anything.
No,
and
I know.
I see it. We see it because we work with you guys. But I'm gonna speak out on the whole situation right now. Leah and Roy Black do everything they can for veterans, for the underdogs, for all the people that work for them and everything like that. So
It's
you
just
guys have to
unbelievable.
you have to realize if you're going to come and start throwing shit like that at us,
know what you're
you need to
talking
know what you're
about.
talking about.
And
Do your
by the
homework
way,
first.
We do it underground and quiet. We don't run out and brag about it. The only time we've been really public about it is when
when you
we
did the
the
gala.
gala to
That was
raise
it,
the
to raise the money.
And that's the only reason we were public about it. But I don't, every time we do something like that, I don't run and post my picture like some of these idiots. Some people have never been to a food bank in their life, and they go down and get a scoop of soup, and they go, I'm here working in the food bank today. We don't do it like that. So maybe you don't know about it. But that's just nonsense. And let me tell you why I think ex-veterans should be able to vote. Ex-felons, yeah. Well, ex-veterans should be treated a hell of a lot better than they are
Absolutely.
too. They should have better medical, they should have better income, they should have better everything. But in any event, life insurance, all of it. But the reason is because I saw how little, after being married 25 years to Roy, how little you have to do to break the law and get a record. I mean, you could do like really something not realizing you're doing it and get a record. So do I think that Jeffrey Dahmers of the world and, the mass murderers and those people should be treated the same as a guy that crossed a line in a business or, didn't pay the same amount of taxes as they should have? Should they be in the same category? No, it's a false equivalent. But for the people that have rehabilitated themselves and that are good citizens and that pay their taxes and that have paid their dues to society, why shouldn't they feel a part of society? That's part of the problem. You make them feel like they're not part of society anymore. They can't get a job. And so you force them into being criminals. I'm for, rehabilitating people. How many years do we do that? 20-something? Whatever.
Yeah, Chris Lynn says here that she has been following you for years, and that is such BS about what they are saying about you.
Honestly, I don't even really care. Ask Jason. Do I really care what anybody thinks? Let's just tell the truth. I really don't. But it pushes
It bothers me more than it does Leah.
You know what bothers me? You know why it pushes my button? And this is why it pushes my button.
It pushes mine because I know better.
Yeah, but it pushes my button because I can't deal with stupid.
Yeah, you can't deal with
If you have
stupid.
an informed opinion, then I will debate it with you, or I'll agree with you, or I'll disagree with you. But when you have an uninformed opinion and you're spouting off like you know something, that's just, I can't deal with stupid. That one you can hardly read.
But I can't deal with stupid.
And you can order those from our website. I can deal with a lot of things, but I can't deal with stupid. My other pillow said, I don't care what other people think of me, or something like that, because I really don't. I'm not going to try to impress people I don't even know. The people that know me, and the ones that don't like what they see, go find another friend. There's always a friend somewhere. You can always find a friend. In fact, I've gotten rid of a lot of these idiots that still support Trump. So in our May's news, did you see that 10 former employees out of Paris are fined and two are going to jail? One's already in jail. They're getting 3 years, 6 years, $2 million in damages because the staff was selling stuff to agent buyers.
They had a mole.
They were fakes. They had the pattern, I guess, and they had the hardware.
That's what happens.
They had the hardware.
Yep.
And that's why when you see a fake, you have to check everything. You have to check the stitching, you have to check the embossed, you have to check the hardware, you have to check the lock and key, because what they can do is they can maybe have the hardware in the right pattern, but they didn't have the stitching perfect. Or maybe they have fake hardware and their Hermes is just a little crooked. Because if you look at an Hermes bag, there's not a flaw in it. There's just not. And one day I went in and they had a small black box leather. Someone had nicked their nail on it, and there was a tiny little, just barely, that could have been buffed out. They were going to burn it.
Yeah, they did.
I talked them into selling it to me because I wanted it, and I knew once I carried it one time it was going to be like that. They won't discount it, though.
No.
And I wanted the bag. Do you know they had to go through 20 phone calls to Paris and
I believe
get
it.
approval to sell it, and I had to sign this thing knowing that that it was authentic, but that a customer had put a nick on it and all this to get the bag. And the more challenged it became, the more I wanted it. Actually, in the beginning, it was like, well, I'd like to have it anyway. But then once it became a challenge, I chased it down and got it. Anyway, oh Lord, the box leather scratches, but I like the box leather. It's really my favorite. So Hermes was awarded damages, but anyway. So in the U.S., the spikes are coming out of the 29-year-olds are the average person, the spikes. Well, you know what that tells you. That's the party crowd.
Party crowd.
That's the party crowd.
Yeah, wait till they start going to nightclubs this weekend.
Oh, they're going to start. What they opened up, so Death Santas, as they call him, has opened up the restaurants inside. They've opened up the bars. They've opened up the clubs, the nightclubs. They've opened up everything. Well, the good news is, well, of course you moved, but the good news is where you used to have to look out your window on the beach and see all the boats lined up every day with the party crowd, they won't have to do that anymore.
Well, unfortunately.
They can do it at the dock.
Yeah.
This is terrible. Okay, moving along, let's see. Oh, I love this one. So this corn and seed in Texas, which I do have my dozen friends making, my sister's making calls, my nieces are making calls. I have a lot of people making calls in Texas to try to get people out to vote. So this guy Cornyn, whom I cannot stand, he's just horrible. He is one of those extreme religious right-wing nut jobs. He's running, of course, to be re-elected in the Senate seat. So this woman's running against him. I can't think of her name. Hager, MJ Hager. She has these big tattoos all on her arm. So, of course, Cornyn and his thug team said that she is a radical with tattoos. And what did he say about it? So anyway, he made fun of her being a radical hip, whatever, with the tattoos. So she went back at him with, "You think I'm ashamed of them? They cover my shrapnel wounds from where the helicopter was shot down. I'm very proud of them." That's
a shutdown.
That is, she shut it down. Boom. Yeah. And so I love her. So
Clip.
Clip. So I went straight to online, and I had to make a donation right away. I make little donations all day, every day. Last night I made 20 little donations, $10, $15, $20, $25, $5, $3. I was just donating to everybody last night. I was so upset over that idiot running around on that stage. Did you notice, too, that he was sweating, and his face is all puffed up, and he's hunched over? And he talks about the fitness of Biden.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
Well, that's how he does everything. It's all projection. And then, talking about him, wanting him to take a drug test and everything. When, I mean, look at him and his son. I mean, I saw his son last night, and he looked like he had just come out of the bathroom with Whitney.
Was Junior there? Was he there?
He
Junior there?
was all greasy.
So he was
he
there
had
at
that
the
greasy
thing.
Coke sweat.
I wondered if he showed up because he's been making these videos where his eyes are like this.
huge.
He's talking like he's on either caffeine or something, like a lot of it. He's red and sweaty, and his eyes are puffed. And you know that look.
Yeah.
You've seen it. Like
a million times every Friday night when I used to go out in the
Yeah.
clubs.
When
you'd
I
see-
lived in Puerto Rico and I went out to the clubs a lot, you know that look. You can tell.
It's what it looks like when they turn the lights on at 6 a.m. That's what they look like.
You know, he's got that look going. So I was like, Biden wants to check, when he said he wanted to check the earphones of Biden.
They wanted to check if he had an
Trump wants to check
earpiece.
to see if he has earpieces. I was like, well, can we look up your nose? Let's check your nose, and then we'll check the earpieces. And then when he went after Hunter Biden and Joe Biden said, he did have a drug problem and he worked through it. I'm very proud of him for that. I thought that was one of the sweetest things he said. And then I just want to go, if Joe was a little better debater and a little nastier, he would have said, now when is your son going to go into rehab?
Yeah. At one point I thought last night, right before I turned to a different channel, I was thinking, if I was Joe, I might have just come out there and said, this is below the presidency and walked off. I mean, I might have.
Oh, here's the latest.
It's just ridiculous.
The presidential debate did not help Trump catch Biden, but the horror show scared America. From
Yeah, it
USA
sure
Today.
did.
Yeah, it was
American
scary.
Horror Story.
I'm telling you, if anybody after seeing that last night is undecided, they're going to vote for Trump.
Absolutely.
If you saw that and you aren't totally disgusted and just ashamed and embarrassed and cringing over Trump's behavior, if you can tolerate any of that, you'll put up with anything. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
I mean, he's never shredded decency or integrity or character, and he can't tell the truth about anything.
Adam Dobson says Trump has acne, by the way.
That's funny. I've heard that that's why he does his own makeup and everything, and because he has
Oh, yeah, that's
acne.
why.
But I don't know that that's true. But I do know that he did have that surgery where his hair was thinning, so they tightened the top and pull it up,
my
and he had
gosh.
the line
The
across
hair
it.
is a whole thing.
Yeah, and it was black. There was a black line from the paint, the stitching, and that's when he got mad at Ivana, and basically they had it out.
Yeah.
And but then eventually, I guess the black line faded, or somehow he got it out. But he was mad at her because she had recommended the surgeon that did the hair thing. So what you do, let's say your hair is thin here, but your forehead's a little droopy. So you pull your forehead up and you pull that up in the back, and then you can take out a piece of skin and make your hair thicker. Then you can take that hair that you took out and transplant it in, and that's what he did. And I know that from a very credible, reliable first-hand source.
And we also know you spent $70,000 in hair and makeup.
They should fire that damn girl.
I was
Whoever did
thinking to
that.
myself the same thing. How does that even add up?
They need to fire him. This is what I think. I think he wrote it off with no receipts and went in there
course.
and did his hair and makeup himself with his daughter or his wife or whoever would do it, some housekeeper, whatever.
Probably has a Flowbee in his
You
drawer.
guys need to follow that guy, Noel Comedy, on Twitter. He knows all the inside gossip about the Trumps. He worked for them for years. He worked on The Apprentice. I mean, he knows so much. And I was talking to Tom Arnold the other night, and there's a lot more stuff that's getting ready to come up. Oh my God, we're running out of time. So this man ate black licorice, half a bag a day, every day for a few weeks, and it caused his heart to stop.
Yeah, that's what you were saying.
God, how
crazy.
scary. There's 2,000 cases a day in Florida. The CDC director admitted that he was overheard saying that this new task force guy that Trump saw, they go on Fox News to audition for the job. If they say everything Trump wants to, they got some credentials behind him, he hires them. So he's now listening to this new guy who has not an infectious disease doctor at all. And so the CDC director said that everything that this guy is saying is incorrect. Fauci said it too. Birx is thinking about quitting, apparently. I don't know if I believe that. And then there's several doctors that have been on television saying everything this guy says is untrue. The positivity rate in Florida is 10.6%. In New York, it's under 1%. So if we really wanted to live a normal life, we could go to New York and probably live a semi-normal life, but you can't in Florida.
It's on the rise again. I saw yesterday, though, they said that in New York now there's clusters of it
Yeah.
starting to spike again.
In Queens and Brooklyn. But you know what they did? They immediately put a task force on it.
Yep.
They went over there with the task force. They're doing the testing. They're doing everything to shut it down. What are we doing here when we see it rising? Opening the
opening up
bars.
the nightclubs.
Opening
What
up
else?
the nightclubs. Get out the vodka. So let's see. Fauci even said that this guy on Fox News makes some outlandish claims. And this whistleblower that's been out talking about what went on, oh my God, if that doesn't scare the hell out of you, nothing will. She said
Yeah,
that they
she
were
is.
looking for data to support Trump's theories, and anything that he didn't like, that went against his philosophy, is opening up, it's going away, this, it's going to go with the sun, it's going to be gone by Easter, use the bleach, all that. They would shut out any of that information and try to find stuff to validate what he said, and that's why she quit, because she said she just couldn't do it anymore.
She said they were making the interns go and dig up data that fit their narrative
Yes.
versus what was actually
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when she quit, she still hasn't said a bad word about Pence. She was his top person at the task force, but he said a bunch of shit about her. He said, "Oh yeah, she's just going to employ."
That's going to be another debate.
And can I tell you, why would you continue to be loyal to a guy who threw you under the bus? What he should have said is, she was a great employee. We had some differences, and I wish her well. But they can't take the high road over there, because Trump will not allow them to take the high road. If they take the high road, they're going to be fired, or he's going to ridicule them, or he's going to tweet about them, or he's going to bully them and berate them. And so they just go out and just embarrassing. I can't believe it. Oh, so let's see. With Paradise likes to see things and then last night in that debate, the one thing that did really piss me off that Biden didn't have a chance to respond to because of the 2 minutes, but the 2 minutes that only he went by, he and Chris, the other guy, went on forever, is when he said that the forests were all burning down because they weren't maintained properly. Well, 97% of those forests that are burned down are federal property, number one. Number two, they're not giving them the financing to fight them because they're a blue state. So we're not going to help you. Number 3, you can vacuum all day long and you can't vacuum up all those trees. And number 4, it has been proven the temperatures are higher, that electrical storms, lightning started many of the fires, and Trump does not believe in science.
No.
And poor Gavin Newsom out there fighting the virus and fighting the fires and getting no support from Trump at all. And Trump's going, oh, we get along fine. No, Gavin is patronizing you. So even though you won't help him, he's hoping you won't sabotage him by making it illegal for firefighters to go from somewhere else to California or some other nonsense that you might do. So here's where one of my quote for the week or for the day or whatever, Leah's life lesson: no matter where you sit or who you are with, it doesn't change who you are. That's true. I have so many clever things. See why I can't deal with stupid people? Because I'm just so smart. Okay, here's a customer thing. We're going to be on time. Thank you so much. I received my products in Canada quickly. Thank you, Jason, customer service guru. I put some of your CBD oil and eye cream on my face immediately. Later, I looked in the mirror while brushing my teeth and saw a significant improvement in my skin in just hours. Today is day 3 and I am loving it. Thanks and regards, Debbie E. Sykes from Canada. That's a beautiful graphic that you did, James.
Thank you.
Looks just like me. Oh, by the way, we can't.
Don't forget about our sale.
Yeah, we can't stop without talking about Brad Parscale. He was the manager of the $100 million that they're now broke, the campaign, and apparently they're accusing him of laundering $40 million of it. He's holed up in his apartment or house in Fort Lauderdale. The wife calls the cops because he's in there with a gun. She thinks he's going to hurt himself. They go and tackle him, put him in Baker Act him, and put him in the hospital, Baker Act him, psychiatric review. And apparently the wife had bruises all over her. Right. This is Trump's campaign manager. I mean, what? This is the mob running the country. I just can't believe it. Oh my God. Okay, we just don't have any more time, so let's talk about the specials. What's the special, James? While I'm doing it, making sure.
40% off all of the CBD individual products, and we have a free complimentary scrub with every purchase. The code is fall 2020 for the 40% off, and to get the free scrub, you just put it in your cart with your order and use the code FREESCRUB.
Okay, while he did that, I went through, there's a couple things I just have to tell you. On the voting at ballots in Florida, you're going to vote for who you want to. You know, I'm going to vote for Biden and every Democrat on the ticket. But on the amendments, we reviewed them. We had several people look at them. We studied them. The no's are 1, 3, and 4, and the yeses are 2, 5, and 6. So if you agree with me in my philosophy, you'll vote no on 1, 3, and 4, and yes on 2, 5, and 6 on the amendments.
In Florida.
In Florida, yes. By the way, Biden is ahead by a little bit in all the swing states, but a huge amount overall. So you've got to help us with those swing states. You need to donate in those swing states. And for a guy that says he made $10 billion and paid $750 in taxes, we can't forget that. But what I want to remind you of before you go vote this week, and get out and vote as fast as you can, go in person if you can, put it in the mail, in the drop box, voting drop box if you can, volunteer to be a poll watcher if you can, and if not, mail and get your mail in early and track it online. Here's what's on the ballot. The Affordable Care Act, where Trump wants to strip you from all the 20 million people plus the 25 million that could go on in the next couple of years. He wants to strip that. Women's right to choose, he wants to get rid of that. The Dreamers, he wants to ship them out of the country. He doesn't believe in climate change, so the earth is going to get hotter, the tornadoes are going to get worse, the flooding's going to get worse, the hurricanes are going to get worse, the fires are going to get worse, it's all going to get worse. LGBTQ rights, he wants to strip those away. Voting rights, they've already gutted the Voting Right Act. Racial justice, did you notice last night he said, well, he doesn't want a white person to have to put themselves in a black person's state of mind as part of the police training, because that's just demeaning. Oh my God. Gun control, no one's doing anything to get the assault weapons off the street. Biden's proposal is that we do a voluntary buyback of assault weapons, so hopefully some people will sell theirs back. Pre-existing conditions. And the justice system, he's stacking the courts. Another thing he
Crazy.
said last night is he was bragging about it. Well, the reason he had so many seats to fill is because Mitch McConnell wouldn't put any judges up for a Senate vote. That's why those seats were empty. Biden could have said that. He didn't get that in. I don't know if he didn't have time or what. So anyway, it's time for us to say goodbye. See you next week.
Bye, everybody.
LeaBlack.com.
Shop at
LeaBlack.com.
LeaBlack.com.
40% off.
And don't forget to vote.
Yeah, vote now, early.
Now, glutathione is a big word, but it's the body's own master antioxidant. So it's a scavenger for free radicals, for bacteria, and what's relevant now, viruses. This is new to the marketplace. There's no other product on the market that has the ingredient NACET.
And basically NACET increases the production of that glutathione that is in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system and keep it strong. Elevated sense of well-being. Supports muscle strength and endurance. Cognitive function. Powerful liver support. Energy. Helps blood sugar regulation. Superior bioavailability of key ingredients.
One of your best defenses against COVID is a strong immune system. Taking GSH Plus as a daily supplement does all that. And now we have the product out on the market.